आज करता बोल के बोला ना।
करेगा तो कल भी बोला था करने के लिए, आज ही बोला करने के लिए। सुबह से अभी तक क्या कर रहा था? तेरा पेमेंट अभी तक क्यों नहीं हुआ ये बता।
अरे नहीं हुआ रे, अकाउंट में नया है इसलिए नहीं हुआ। अकाउंट में रहने से क्यों नहीं कर तू? आपसे बार बार फोन करवाने के मेरे का शौक है क्या? हाँ,
तेरा मतलब तेरा ग्रुप बना के तेरे और कॉन्टेक्ट में डालना ही पड़ेगा तभी जाके तू करेगा ना।
ग्रुप में भी जाता है?
जब तेरी
हाँ, ग्रुप में
तेरा ग्रुप बना के तेरे ऑल कांटेक्ट में मैसेज कर दूंगा, फ्रॉड है, आधार कार्ड पैन कार्ड पे लिख के फ्रॉड है, तेरे मुंह पे फ्रॉड लिख के भेजूंगा।
हाँ।
तब तुझे अच्छा लगेगा, सब जगह तू पेमेंट भी करेगा।
This is just a sample of the kind of threatening calls people get if they have taken a loan from an instant loan app and have defaulted. The threats and harassment have led to several suicides across India, leading to a multi-state investigation into these apps, most of them owned by Chinese nationals who use binamis in India to extort their clients. With job losses and no money in hands, the COVID-19 induced pandemic drastically impacted several families in the country. The clamor for money for survival grew louder than ever. Sensing this as a golden opportunity, these instant loan apps began advertising and gaining prominence in the country. Those who were left with no other option and was in need of quick money turned to these apps, oblivious of the fact that this could lead to harassment.
पेमेंट करेगा कि नहीं करेगा ये बता।
नहीं रहे, अभी बोला ना तू जो करना बोल रहा, आके कर इधर।
यही से करता हूँ, तेरी गान मारता हूँ, तेरे ऑल कांटेक्ट में भेज ही देता हूँ। कल तो नहीं भेजा लेकिन आज साले तेरी माँ की कसम भेजा।
And it's not just threatening calls. In one instance, the recovery agents wrote fraud on the photo of a defaulter and sent it to his contacts. Routinely, WhatsApp groups are created to humiliate the defaulter in front of their contacts. One app called Star Credit sent out fake legal notices to those who failed to repay the loan amount in a bid to threaten and intimidate them. The various forms of threatening and bullying often gets the better of many of these victims. On January 2nd, Telangana state reported the 5th such suicide due to the harassment of these money lending apps. If you consider all the states together, then the number of people who have died by suicide, the count stands much higher. 23-year-old K. Monica from Telangana Siddipet is one such victim.
రిజర్వ్ బ్యాంక్ అనుమతి లేని యాప్స్ 150 యాప్స్ చేసి అమాయకులైన గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫీసులు తీసుకొని తర్వాత 5,000, 10,000, 10,000, 20,000 చేసేసి యాప్స్ అన్నీ టోటల్గా నా బిడ్డ కిర్ని మౌని ఏఈఓ నన్ను ఒక బిడ్డ రైతులకు ప్రజలకు సేవలు చేస్తూ ఉంటే అమాయకమైన యాప్స్ నుంచి మంచి బంగారు భవిష్యత్తు ఖరాబ్ చేస్తుంది. బిడ్డ నాకన్నా చెప్తే ఇగో లెక్క ఈ యాప్స్ రిజర్వ్ బ్యాంక్ అనుమతి లేని ఆ యాప్స్ అని నిషేధించాలి. దీని మీద ప్రత్యేకమైన శ్రద్ధ వహించాలి. నా కడుపు కాలినట్టు ఇంకొకరి పడదు.
The reason why many of these apps are becoming popular is because they lend money to almost everyone. This is irrespective of the fact whether the person taking the money has the ability to pay it back. These transactions happen without valid KYC, documents, or even without an agreement. When the app is downloaded by someone, the app seeks permission to access the person's contacts, images, and also location. This is used as the most powerful tool by the money lending apps. In fact, they use it as a collateral to ensure that the money is returned. This is the residence of Selvaraj Singhi, a man listed as a director of 4 fintech companies that own several instant loan apps that are under the police scanner. But Selvaraj is not your typical businessman. He's in fact a teacher in a private school. And his directorship of these fintech companies is simply a smokescreen to protect the Chinese players in this giant fraud. What investigators have pieced together is this. 2 Chinese nationals, Yuan Yuan alias Jennifer and Angela, came to India sometime in 2019 and recruited some Indians to run the operations of the fintech fraud. One of these recruits is Madhu Singhi, who then put his father Selvaraj as a Benami director of these companies. The Indian operators like Madhu Singhi, another man Nagaraj, run call centers that do the majority of threatening and other illegal acts to recover money from defaulters. And the network of shell companies and Benamis is spread across the country. This is where the registered office of Nabloom Technologies Private Limited, one of the fintech companies running an instant loan app, is supposed to be located. But all that exists at this spot in Bengaluru's busy Residency Road is a co-working space. Nabloom doesn't even have a table reserved here. Someone simply booked a space sometime in 2019, used it to register the company and never came back. Lia Feng is another such company, and this is their registered office. People around, however, inform us that the company shut shop and moved out as soon as police began investigating suicides. What India is witnessing today is something that China witnessed way back in 2012. However, in 2016, the Chinese government decided to clamp down on these money lending apps because of the predatory tactics used by these apps in recovering the money. The government set up special teams to monitor such financial risks and gave the money lending apps 2 years' time to clear outstanding loans and exit the industry. That is probably when many of these lenders decided to turn their attention to India. So far, 7 Chinese nationals and over 35 Indians have been arrested by the 3 police forces in South India. China eventually found a way to deal with this menace that originated in China. India will also have to deal with the situation with an iron fist. India will also probably have to go the Chinese way to ensure that we do not lose more lives due to this dangerous debt trap.